Hello, everyone. Welcome to October 10 Zeam call. This is post Cambridge workshop slash DevNet Zero Interop. So we might have some news from that, and then we'll talk about the next DevNet, which is DevNet One. Apart from the updates that we have for everyone in the team. So for updates, let's go to Kai.
Hi. Last week, mostly focused on the implementation of Lean RPC, uh, P2P RPC domain. Yeah. So right now, almost finished. Yeah. I just need some refactory and clean up. Yes. So right now, because we right now because in the Rust lib P2P there is no default uh, RPC protocol. Mm, so we just copied some code from Ring and changed the codec part because we need do encoding and decoding in the Zig side. Yeah. So and during this task, I found the issues about snappy frame. Yeah. I I already do some fix and right now I'm just want to add some interop tests, such as I want to dump some Go uh, Go test to our lib to make sure the implementation is correct. Mm, yeah. So yeah, that's for Zeam side and for Zig lib P2P. There is some progress. I already made a publish and subscribe test works. Yeah. So next step is to implement the heartbeat mechanism. Yeah. Okay.
All right, thanks, Kai, for the update. And yes, we should include some test from a third party tooling like Go, so that we have the coverage of the issues that we have seen in Snappy Frames. Uh, so I think once you are done, I guess you will patch up the main library along with the test cases.
Yes.
All right, cool. And yes, so I think once we have request response implemented, then we can basically move to parent chain syncing, which will sort of make our client quite robust. Okay, so now we can move to Mercy.
Hello, good afternoon. So last week I did some I worked on the leading quick starts implementation. I did the Genesis integration and automated the quick stop into detection. I also started an implementation on attestation process for the metrics we are working on. I opened a PR for all the metrics that is related to state transition function that Katia are listed. And although I'm waiting for a review on that and also on the implementation and attestation process PR that I created. And one last thing is, I think my PR for the add to notes is ready. So if I can get a review on that, that'll be nice.
Yeah, so first of all, yeah, thanks for taking the lean quick start to the final point where basically, we have everything integrated, including the Genesis generator. So if you are using Lean Quick Start, you will basically see a very different kind of a UX experience, and I think it is quite good right now. And we have Ream and Qlin integrated into it. I'm not sure whether the images that we are using in the Docker build, they are updated to the ones that they have fixed in the interop, uh, but I think it should all work out. So maybe we should ask Nupur, maybe we should ask Qlin and Dream what are their latest images that were working in the interop.
So if I mean, I can already answer that. They were using their main release line. So if you look at whatever was published, let's say in the morning of last Monday, say October 6th, that should work. So you can pin that thing for both, and you can use the ETH panel ops one for Ream. For clean, they did not. Yeah, they started, by the way, the interrupts calling themselves Qlean, and by the end of it, it was called clean. We I'm not aware of them publishing it on ETH panel ops, but I can give the what's it called, the thing I was using, the repository, or the image name I was using. And if you look on Docker Hub, you can see when October 6th in the morning, or let's say noon, that should work.
Awesome. So maybe Nupur, you can collate these images and do a PR to update them.
Yeah, sure. Can we also have like I don't know, I was not there in the last call, so if like we can have a demo of the quick start.
Yeah, maybe we can build a video demo and sort of publish it out there as well. So that would be good.
Okay.
So maybe Nupur, you can do this, and if you need any help, I'll be able to guide you.
Sure. Okay.
Cool. Uh, okay. We can now move to Chaitanya.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. So this week I did quite a few smaller tasks. So from telemetry and the quick start, a few things over there. So for the telemetry thing, one thing I did an extra apart from what we have in lean metrics was add granular metrics. So the one that I did for now was the invalid attestations. So apart from just keeping a total count, it will also have a count for each failure. So why exactly the attestation failed. And it is something I would also like to put out for everyone, especially since Mercy is working on a lot of telemetry things. If we could have granular metrics, this would help us in the longer run as well. So, uh, and apart from it, worked on some minor changes on the SSE side. So, bit list, lists of bits are now being handled as bit lists. So, and also I was working on making the SSE more performant. So there is another good thing I found out. So sorry. So sorry. Yes. So there was we were earlier using while DC realization for bit list, which is one of the most used SSE types we have. We were using loops, so it would loop out to find the leading zeros. So that I found out some directives and built-in functions. So we just use a built-in function. So this should be magnitudes faster for that specific purpose. Trying to find out more things and to make the SSE really good and performant, probably better than what is out there. So these are the major updates from this week. Also, I have a few PRs that need review. If anybody could just review them sometime this week, it would help me move forward with a lot of things.
Yeah, so about this, I looked at your PR for bit lists, the one the one that is not using bitlist, actually, that is using a slice of bool.
Yes,
Um,
yes, nice of
I don't I don't think we should do this. This is why bitlist exists, so I'm not sure why you need to have this. But I think if yeah, my recommendation would be to use bitlist instead, because this is exactly what it's been designed for. And from what I understand, you're just copying the stuff from bitlist into that specific use case. So yeah, I just wanted to discuss with you. Like, I don't understand the context of this, but I think we should just say if you're using a slice of bulls, just panic with a or just return an error saying use bitlist already the behavior. Yeah, that's my
course.
opinion.
No, no, I totally understand. There was this open issue about this to make sure that we have completion to add this, and the idea is to just have the bit list like operations on the go. So if somebody passes slices of bool mistakenly and does not use native bit list type, so again, happy to have feedback, but this was just an open issue that I picked.
Yeah, I saw the issue, but once again, I don't understand the context, so maybe I'm missing something important. But I think that if someone mistakenly uses a slice of bulls, you should return an error saying this is not what you should be using. And just above the returning that error, add a comment saying use bitlist instead. This is what it's designed for, and it will be much more efficient.
Sure, sure, sure. If that is the direction we'd like to go in, I'll close the issue and do the updated PR with just the optimization.
Yeah, I think it is better to keep things simple rather than have convoluted logics where, things magically get swiped in or so it's better just to throw error. And I agree with Kiam on this part.
Okay, okay, sure. If I remember, this issue was raised by you, so maybe if can you have a look as well? Maybe I mistook it for something else. The issue just said handle slices of pool like bit lists.
Yeah, I think it might be from the time when we were basically using slices as the type instead of list. So it must have mixed up with that. So I don't think the issue is relevant now. So, but this kind of handling is definitely we need an error to be thrown so that people will not use list of bools instead of bit list.
Okay, okay, sure.
Um, and if I can add something on the more mentoring kind of level, we are not infallible. Sometimes we do things mechanically. Sometimes, we write an issue because the context, like the bit list, did not exist. So, okay, I understand why that would have come to be. But it's okay to question what we say. Just like I said, we are not infallible.
Thank you.
Right, right. So definitely, I mean, whatever queries you have, and if you think that something should be addressed in a very different way, please feel free to bring it up and discuss rather than just take it as a general directive of how to do things. All right. Okay. So one thing I wanted to say regarding metrics was that right now we have one common metrics instance across the entire code base across the client, and we also try to run instances of the chain in the especially when we are running the test. So I'm not sure whether having a client-wide instance is a better way to go, or to have a metric instance that is being passed around. So that is something that we can probably discuss post once we have gone through the updates. So I just wanted to mention it's because metrics was being discussed. Okay, Chaitanya.
Okay, I had some suggestions on this. I'll go it at the last.
Cool. Let's go to Anshul.
Yeah, so I worked on, so I had a pending PR in which I was moving the state stack to a pointer, and I updated it once, like Zeam had released the release on S3 clip, so I updated my branch and it eventually got merged. I just about 2 3 days back. Apart from that, I have also worked on adding these metrics about connected peers and whenever there's a event that is being fired about a peer being connected or disconnected. So I have added these matrix into the node. And there was one issue that was there while we were trying to run the beam command on our binary. So yeah, it took me some time to figure that out, but it was like a basic race condition where the network was getting initialized and the connection was happening before like the nodes were getting spun up. So that's why it was not capturing that event. Apart from that, I also looked into there was another refactor here that was there. I have like I have merged main into it so that it can be ready. It is ready to merge. I think like today the Tinder has reviewed it as well. Uh, Apart from that, I was also looking into this hashing hash signature stuff. Didn't spend much time onto it. I think like Parth is already here, so he can describe like what are the differences between Rust and Zig implementation and if there are any missing parts on that front. And yeah, I can start uh, working on uh, implementing that. Shouldn't take much time. Initially, I thought of it like a long running task because I had to port the Rust implementation into this, but since like the implementation is already present, I can try to port it. I can try to integrate it, and if there are any issues, I directly so we are on the implementation that part. That's how I feel. So,
Yeah, I think we will discuss this as well, whether, we want to have right now a total Zig native implementation, which might be missing optimizations, or, we just do bindings for the Rust library so that, we have parity with what is out there for DevNet now. So with regard to that, I think in short term, we don't want to spend too much time figuring out the optimizations, but to just get things going for DevNet 1. And if basically creating bindings for the Rust library for DevNet 1, I think we should just take it as our task, and then we can also discuss how to move forward on the native work that Partha has done and Tamagnor uh, Bhaskar might have done, and I don't know what the status is on that. I don't think it's complete anyway. So, with regard to completeness, we'll come and discuss about Partha's work on this and see how we can take it forward. But definitely, eventually, we do want Zig native libraries, so that's a very good direction. But so for DevNet one, I think we should right now just integrate the Rust library with the bindings, not totally port it, because it would also put pressure on the EF crypto teams that they will have to review the libraries in time, and I mean basically it's creating more work for them as well, which might not be what the time with which might not be the right thing to do given the timelines.
I agree with you, Gajendra. Just giving you an update from what I heard Benedict last week. He said he was busy with the Cambridge workshop, but he did promise to come back to me on with his feedback this week. That is, sorry, next week. And he and Toma would be looking at the code. On a high level, he just gave me some feedback, but there was some confusion on the parameters being used. But I think now the hashtag library is pretty much has the same implementation of Rust. The only difference is key generation in Rust is a lot quicker than that of the Zig implementation, but signing and signature verification are pretty much the same. I mean, I'm waiting for Benedict to confirm that the cryptographically the logic is correct before I can, as we discussed, transfer ownership of the report to BlockPass stuff and then continue from there. But Bing also had a look at the code, and he also said he'll help me out with some optimization. But I would appreciate anyone. I understand it's not immediate, but in future, if you any of you could spare time, another pair of eyes looking at the code would really help. I'll continue to do what I can to achieve the same level of performance, but any help from you guys would be really appreciated.
Yeah, in terms of Zik optimization, I think Guillaume can definitely, help us over there. And yes, so basically, over the longer run, we would definitely want to have the entire thing native in Zik. Uh, but if verification and signature generation is already on parity, both in terms of the implementation as well as performance, then we can definitely use this because uh, uh, the private key generation is totally independent part, and we can use Rust libraries over there, and in our main code base we can use the Zig native implementation. So I think, Anshul, if you basically go through it with that regard and see, we are having the same performance benchmarks, then probably we can definitely do it and not spend time on the bindings.
Yeah, sure. I'll have a look and then we can discuss it in the group itself.
Game, do you have any opinion on this?
Um, Not really. I mean, yes, I do. I think having a Zig library, even if it's not super performant, is not is better than having a Rust library. I mean, you will see during my update why I'm saying this. Um, but given the fact that it's also not, I wouldn't scramble to optimize, to be honest, simply because at the interop, Ladislaus was getting really worried about the time it takes to generate the keys, and I think there's going to be some pushback. Like it's cool for researchers to have a scheme like this. I mean, it's a good scheme. At least it ticks all the boxes we need in terms of security. Where it's not so great is people haven't really thought of the usability aspect. So I think it might be worth not worrying too much about this scheme, because I don't see it surviving very long, or at least surviving any review by ACD. ACD being all core dev. So yeah, I think it's fine if it's not the best of the best. This being said, if there are some cheap optimizations we can do, sure, yeah, let's try to have a look at that. But yeah, it's like I said, I'd rather have something that works and doesn't take forever to compile than a big Rust library that is supposedly faster, but yeah, it drags us down because Rust is not as fast as Zig, first of all, and because we don't have the real optimizations, but those optimizations can change. So I'm not gonna worry about this.
So Partha, on this, how off is the performance of the Zig library with regard to Rust on signature generation?
So
Not on
on
signature generation, on the
signature,
key pair generation, right?
so yeah, key pair generation for say two lifetime of 2 part 10, Rust generates the key pair in 1 second, but the Zig implementation takes 50. But on sign and verification, it's all sub-second. I think 0.08 millisecond or something like that is the thing.
I mean,
Yeah,
that is 1 to 50 is quite off on key pair generation.
yeah.
But yeah, okay. I mean, if the signature and verification is same time, then we can consider it. Yeah, Mercy.
Sorry, I wanted to, because I did look into it. There was a significant changes in like in time differences between signing and verification. So I wanted to know what's the machine you're using to which machine did you use for
I
the?
was testing mine on M2 Mac. There is a benchmark repository that's available, and I'm not sure from when you did the tests. I pushed the latest Rust compatible version yesterday. So if you could
Oh,
probably use the latest one on, there's a GitHub workflow report that generates the performance benchmark of Zig for different operations, key generation, signing, verification, all of that. You could have a look at those reports as well, and
okay,
let me know if it's comparable on your machine as
okay, okay. When I did it was on Wednesday.
well. Okay.
So can we have a CI job that basically generates the benchmark for 10 zigs in that sense that, just in terms of
Yeah.
the machines that are running it?
Yes, I do have a separate benchmark report that does the same comparison, but I've run into some issues. I have not corrected the issue because the number of keys generated, the problem with the Rust implementation is their ideal configuration that they want us to generate the key with is with the lifetime of 2 power 32, but passing in a customized lower lifetime parameter. That isn't directly exposed out of the crate. So what I'd have to do is create a custom version with all the parameters defined there and then try to generate the keys on a Rust implementation. So the benchmark comparison between the Zig and Rust is a bit cumbersome. I want to tidy up that, push it to the benchmark repo, and then probably we can do a proper like-for-like comparison, and then we'd have more data. If I know all of you are busy. If there's anybody else who could probably help out in this regard, that would be great. If not, I'll let you know as soon as I have that function.
Understood. And I think, yes, with regard, our focus would be with regard to DevNet 1 and basically to
Yeah.
get things going on for DevNet 1. And I don't think there is much time because there are so many DevNets we had by end of this year. So just with regard to that, I think, yeah, we'll have to focus quite a bit on just getting things out of the door rather than trying to optimize. But yes, if someone wants to look at it, yeah, please feel free to do so, but at your own time. But definitely, Anshul, once you have reviewed Partha's repo, then we can basically take call on how to take this forward. Especially if the signature and verification part, they have comparable performance.
Sure, I'll do that during the weekend.
Yeah, so I guess it would be worth to first measure the comparable performance for both Rust and Zeg signature and verification. And as well as Supatha, are there any hard-coded test cases that are same across both the repos that your repo has, so to establish that they are on the same parity?
So that's supposed to be part of my benchmarking repository. I'll push that and share that in the Zeam Telegram group as soon as it's ready. So the most obvious test case is to generate the keys for the same lifetime and parameters on Rust and Zig and compare the public key hashes to see if they match. In that way, we can be sure at least they're generating the same. At the moment, I just compare the format and the time, but I need to dig deeper to verify the hashes also are correct.
Okay, all right. So I think there is still quite a bit of work that is needed on that repo, and I hope that you keep pushing it so that it comes to a stage where we can then consume it.
Sure.
Cool. Okay, so we'll go with Nupur.
Okay. Hi. So I last week I like I was like I've generated one PR for updating the log path for log file path to data directory CLI arc, and currently I'm working on writing the finalized and unfinalized data to DB. And in between, I also picked up implementing the metrics validator metric, but it was postponed because of the metric structure, which we are going to discuss later. So that's all from my side.
Okay, and I can go with my update. So I basically helped Guillaume in the interop for various things, as well as worked on Lean Quick Start, coordinated that, and basically then next let's hear from Guillaume how the interop went.
Yeah, well, it went well. We do have interop. So yeah, thanks for everybody who was supporting me during well and before. I found a lot of issues that other people had that were already solved on our end. In fact, I think we didn't have a single issue. I know Kai committed something to the main branch, so we might actually have had one issue that got fixed. Um, but yeah, compared to the other clients, we were by far the most ready. So that's good. Otherwise, in terms of discussion, yeah, there were some discussion about the peer-to-peer structure. So Raul wants to create a specific network for the link chain. Yeah, so we had a few discussions with this. There were a few options. I don't think, or at least I don't recall, there was a single decision on this. But yeah, like there's some interesting ideas being floated around, and I think this is one of the best selling points for the entire Lean project, is that if we can demonstrate that we can have a better networking layer coming out of this, this could be very good for selling that case to the whole of ACD, saying, look, we have a much better performance. And even if the whole Lean structure doesn't pan out, at least there will be a lot of learnings. So in terms of funding for teams and things like this, it's a very good thing. I was co-leading actually with Thomas discussion on the like bindings, what Justin called bindings, but it's really how can we make it easier for non-Rust clients to integrate all those features. There's been a lot of strong characters in that call, in that discussion, with very different opinions. So no, the discussion remains civil, but clearly there are a lot of different point of views. So I think there's a few conclusions for us. One of them is that we're going to make one, and I'm currently working on that. It's a lot harder than I expected. We're going to build a single executor per prover, so that you will have a ReZero Zeam, a Zisk Zeam, an OpenVM Zeam, etc., etc. And this will be packaged together so that you can decide that if you want to run Zeam with your ReZero prover, or if you want to verify ReZero proofs or things like this, this will be the way it's built, and that's quite good, because this way, if we have a VM that disappears or for whatever reason is not ready to do an interop, ZKVM is not ready for the interop, we can easily just not run it, and that's going to give us a wide variety of clients that can interrupt with other clients that don't have this. So I would say it's a bit bad in terms of usability, because you have to pick your executable, but it's also great in terms of the binary size, because just having OpenVM and ReZero the binary was ballooning at almost 3,000 megabytes. Sorry, 3,300 megabytes. But yeah, so not having that, the binaries are now, I'm looking, the compiler can do a better work of optimizing. The build takes a lot less time. At least the build for a single target takes a lot less time. And I think like the binaries now are like 20 megabytes. So yeah, a lot more performance in the compiler. Because yeah, when I merged in OpenVM, I realized that the build was becoming so long, even when the Rust libraries were built already. Linking was really bad. So not having to do this is a great thing. Um, as a result of this discussion, I still want to push for more Zig native libraries, get rid of the Rust as much as we can. The day we can get rid of libp2p and potentially XMSS and all those, the better. We will never be able to get rid of that for Rust, for ZKVMs, at least not in the foreseeable future, unless we implement the verification for each of them in Zig, which would probably help. But yeah, I would not expect this to be available for a long time. So yeah, unfortunately, we're going to be stuck with Rust for a long time. But at least I think we need to push for Zig stuff now, and that means libp2p as well. So thankfully we have Kai working on this and Bing as well. But yeah, I think it's getting more urgent than I initially thought. What else? Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to remember the discussions that happened. I mean, it's mostly those I participated because there were two tracks, and we spent a lot of time debugging the DevNet. Oh yeah, so the metrics, as you might have seen, nothing happened. That was not a priority. We were trying to get interop, and yeah, while metrics are important, I think it was not important on those 3 days. So yeah, I think we're gonna push on this now, especially for DevNet 1. It would be interesting, but we decided to leave this one on the side for now. That's all I remember. If yeah, if you feel I'm missing something, I'm happy to recall, but from what I remember, that's pretty much it. But overall, that was a very good interop. I think we achieved a lot, not only in terms of work and code, but also of interaction and mutual respect with the other teams. Lots of good conversation with Unavud, with June, with Camille from Quadrivium. So I think we can build on that for future DevNets. Yeah.
Cool. And thanks, Guillaume, for being there and pushing our agenda and basically taking us to a successful interop with our teams.
I mean, thanks to you, I just deployed the code and thankfully it was working well enough. I mean, I did spend some time debugging, but that was, as it turned out, the bugs were in other people's code, so that's even better. So yeah.
Yep. And thanks to everyone for their contributions and to make Zeam have a successful interop. So that was pretty great. One thing, Guillaume, I think that we could talk about was there anything that happened on the spec? Because right now we have different spec PRs which are basically trying to replicate the tests that are there in the Python code, but I don't think that is the best way to do it, and I don't really want to merge a whole lot of PRs just hard coding the spec code out there. So I also see that you have some in draft spec PR. So is there
Right.
any progress on that?
Yeah, so that's what I forgot. Okay, that's one of the things I forgot. Yeah, so the spec PR has the, I started writing this piece of code on the Monday, when after we got interrupt, everything was covered. I looked into the current PRs that they have. I'm not talking about Thomas code, because Thomas code is more focused on the tests themselves, but there's the way you interact with the clients. And I'm thinking more of a model like coming from being an EL client dev. They want to build this framework, which, by the way, is not complete, where EELs, where you write your test and then you do a process that's called filling, where EELs being the Python client yeah, that the testing team is maintaining, execute those tests and pretty much create some JSON files that describe the test, like what input do you expect, what output do you expect, and then you take those field tests and you start feeding them into each client. Um, and so this is the way it works, or this is the way it should work on the EL side, and the way it will work hopefully soon. They want to do roughly the same thing for CL, and they want to do the same thing for Lean. The problem is Felipe from that team has written a PR, but it's, as far as I understand, unfinished. What you have to know is that this team is, while being full of good people, is undersized compared to the amount of task that needs to be done, and yeah, they're doing a good work, but there's just everybody needs their time, and they try to answer everybody, and that's a problem, because usually you interact with them and then they don't come back to you for a week, which is currently what's happening. And this is an experience I've had working on Verkle, working on binary trees and everything, so not trying to blame them at all. But the fact is, while this is a cool tool, it's still up and coming. They have a lot of restructuration or refactoring going on. They're a bit under the waterline right now, and yeah, just adding extra stuff is not helping. So I think on this one I'm gonna let it sit out for a few weeks, simply because they want to, like I said, they have a big refactor that we know is happening. So I hope they're gonna solve that, and that will free some resources. But I did write what I thought would be the way for us to ingest those tests, except those tests don't really exist. Actually, I could generate them from Felipe's branch, but I also know it's not going to be the final version. So I guess, yeah, this thing exists. Please have a look. I don't think it's going to be merged soon enough that we can't, run those tests as we have them. But it is the right way to do it. And so I would want to spend more time just making sure those tests can be consumed, even though the final thing is not quite ready. Then creating more tests that will be deleted. Well, okay, hopefully soon. Although it's a bit difficult to find out, because it could last 2 years. It could last 2 weeks. So if it's 2 weeks, it's not worth implementing the test on our end. If it's 2 years, yes, it's definitely worth doing this. So I guess we need to make a decision, and it's not necessarily my decision to make, but I'm going to chase Felipe a bit to ask him where they are and how ready that would be.
Yeah, I mean, if we can somehow help this make into 2 weeks rather than 2 years, that would be sort of great, and it would be a great contribution from our end as well in the entire lean specs.
Yeah.
So
Sorry, I thought of doing this, of course, but where I'm a bit cautious is that there seems to be two visions into how to implement this. There's Felipe and I forgot the name of the other guy. But yeah, I would like them to sort it out first before we do help them. And rest assured, given my experience working with them, we will probably have to help them out because they just don't have enough bandwidth for that.
So, is it possible that they can sort out this vision by next Wednesday? I mean, do we nudge them, or what is the way we can basically in the
I can
next
ask.
Wednesday?
I can ask. I would honestly not expect that for 1 second, but yes, that's it. My camera. I would not expect. I would not expect them that to happen. Like it's okay. In my experience with them, it has never happened that fast. Um, I will ask. Maybe we can at least slap something together. But yeah, it's not next Wednesday. It's not gonna happen. Oh, okay. I hope to be wrong, but I'll hope for the best. But honestly, it's not happening.
Okay, even if we basically, we get just one test case out there that is for this and that involves state transition, I guess we would be fine. But yes, the major thing would be to sort of agree them on the format, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of very intricate Python code that is being refactored. So just the time that is going to take us to understand, and trust me, I've been sending Claude code on this one for months and months. It gets it's definitely better than me, but it still gets confused and doesn't do the right thing. So we're gonna need a lot of guidance and assistance. But like I said, let me talk to him. Let's see what he says. Maybe we can at least focus on getting his vision, and that's good enough for us. But yeah, I wouldn't count on it.
Okay, so at least let's bring this topic up in the next Wednesday call so that we can sort of generate some sort of a peer pressure for things to get resolved and build some urgency into it. So, okay, so now I think there are two things that we wanted to discuss, but we already have discussed how to go forward on the signature hash repo by Partha. So we can discuss the other issue, which is basically, so what should we do? Should we have different instances of metrics being passed around, or what we currently have, which is basically a single instance that code paths keep on updating? Game, what do you think?
Oh, sorry. I guess I misunderstood because I thought that was that was for intended for Mercy. So yeah, okay. I didn't quite understand. Like single instance of code path.
So we have metrics, right? We have the metrics which are like the global metrics, and they get initialized, and then various modules in the code base in the client, basically they call a global function that update that global instance of the metric. But
Okay.
we, for example, have a beam simulation where we run two instances in the same process, and basically they will be overriding each other's metrics. So
Yeah, that's
I mean, do we really care about the beam sim, or do we not really care about it? Because that is the only thing that basically we spin up the two instances in the same process.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the way it's implemented, if you start creating those instances and everything, the Rust code is also implemented with other lock with things like this. I think we should delete that code and just run two instances, two different programs. This is the way it's meant to be. I don't think we're gaining much from doing this. Yeah, it was nice when we didn't have a peer-to-peer layer, but now we do. So yeah, my advice would be to delete it. And so it's okay if
Because
we have.
if we want to delete it, then we can also delete the mock network, because then we don't need it, and it is sort of extra code that we have to write and maintain.
But don't we need it because we have the tests? The tests are being are using the so it's the mock no, it's the mock chain, it's not the mock network. Yeah, okay, then yes, please.
So we also have some mock network tests, but we can remove it. I think we can replace them by lippy2p network test.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Okay, I guess so. Once basically, I think I would first let Mercy complete her integration PR with the node command using lean quick start now. So Mercy, once you have done that porting of using lean quick start rather than spinning two nodes yourself, then basically we can then in the follow up here we can erase some of the mock network and beam sim. Although beam sim is still pretty handy, I mean, to test out whether things are working fast or not. But with lean quick start, things have become handy as well. So we can do that. All right, so let's just remove the mock stuff for now, and if we need it again, we'll re-add it. So that basically resolves our issue of needing two metric structure and passing it around, because we don't want to do that. And this way, the code is also simple, so we can keep following the current path that we have. And once we also remove the mock network, then we don't even need to worry about maintaining the interface parity between the mock network and its P2P network. So that way, I think we are good. But in some of the cases, maybe mock network might be helpful game, because you don't really need to instantiate a network to test out some of the stuff. I don't know.
I mean, sure, but I mean, if we want to test out some of the stuff, usually, yeah, sure, okay, a mock network is nice, but if it's getting in our way, I'd rather get rid of it. We can always introduce a layer. Like if I need to test something, there will be a code module. Like either I test it in a live situation or it's going to be a code module. So I could just mock the stuff I'm getting. Like I'm never going to be interested in the network itself. Okay, that's my personal case, of course. But I'm just going to create some payloads that I know are going to try to cause some problems. So yeah, I'm not fine as long as I can generate a chain. I don't really care about the mock network per se.
Understood. So I think we can take a call on this a bit later. We can right now just go ahead with the current metrics approach we have, because it does not really break anything. And we can think about the cleanup later on. It doesn't change what we are currently doing. So maybe I'll think about this, and then we can take a call whether we want to remove mock stuff or not. Most likely we do, but I just want to give it a rethink. Cool. So I guess we have covered everything. Nupur, is there anything else on our agenda?
No, that was all on my agenda. Chaitanya
Yeah.
has something.
Yes, so I missed something. So the build runner that is failing on AMD 64. So I did have a look at it, and by the time I woke up today, somebody already had raised the PR. So I think the root cause that they found out is pretty on point. And my assumption of not being able to fetch the Git version was the issue is probably wrong. But the PR I've reviewed it. and it's shouldn't, I don't think it's should be merged right now, because I tested it on my own as well. And right now, even if we have, let's say, like syntax error, that PR would just make the bill, it wouldn't flag it, and it would just pass it through. So but there are changes that we can do to fix it. I've noted them in the PR itself. Apart from it, last call we discussed the node monitoring tool. Ansel already raised a issue for it, so I also did some research into that. So a few ideas around it. Well, first off is, if we just want a visualization tool or layer, and we do not want any actions to be taken with it, and we do not want it to be interactive, we could just use our current metrics, especially since we already have lean metrics, right, which are standardized. So we can just use those to give a graphical interface and just make some Grafana templates that anybody can run. We already have our metrics as an optional. So that is the most non reinventing the wheel kind of way to move forward with this. Other would be to have a hybrid approach to give a web-based or uh, any other, like even terminal UI for that matter, interface where and it can be a public goods as well. So all of the lean metrics, the standard ones, they can be seen on one page, and which could act as a global dashboard of sorts for any client. And our specific metrics can again be displayed. And apart from it, there is something that Polygon has. It's more for the EL side, but you can have a look. This is a good terminal UI example. We can maybe use this as an inspiration and then have the UX thing going forward. So I did some research in this direction to have a better node running experience.
Understood. Thank you. So we'll have a look at it, and maybe we'll discuss it more in the coming weeks.
Sure. Nothing. I don't think it is urgent anyway. Just putting
Right.
it down.
Right. Right. Thank you for that. And I guess that will be all for today's call, unless someone else has anything else to bring up. All right, guys. Thank you for today's call. Keep doing the good work. We did great in the interop, and let's now focus on DevNet 1, and let's get it going forward. Thank you.
Thank
See you
you.
next time.
Thank
Bye.
you, everyone.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.